What's poppin', y'all? There have been no hit rap songs since Not Like Us, if you were to allow this legendary hip-hop journalist to say it, and that is none other than Elliot Wilson. So I'm going to play you guys this clip first, and then we're going to get into this conversation and see whether or not he has a point or whether he's completely rage-baiting and tripping.
Such a dot era that no one's made a hit record since Not Like Us or Luther.
That's cap.
There's no, what's the hit records? Jello was, whoa, we started, there's no hits this year. We have no hits, no real hits.
That's
we thought it was What the Hellies and all that. There's no real, what are the hits?
Elliot Wilson.
Tell me the hits.
What is a hit record?
It's Yeah Glow.
No.
Get It Sexy.
What is a hit?
What you mean? Records that were hits in the past. Like we had
Staying
there's no hits. There's no hits. What are the hits?
Elliot Wilson.
What are you playing? Radio's playing Luther, and no hit records impacted Not Like Us. There's been over a year.
You can't say stuff like that. You have a responsibility.
Tell me the hits. Jello Tweaker was a hit.
Elliot
and
Wilson.
It came and went. We don't want nothing else from this guy. He just puts his album back.
Elliot Wilson.
Whoa. Like, where are the hits? Go pull up. What is this with the radio? Pull it up. There's no hits.
You can't say there's no hits.
There's zero hits. I'll say it with my chest.
I'll define.
That Playboy Cardi weekend record could be a hit. Was it a hit? It wasn't a hit. What are the hits? Show me what y'all playing. What are y'all playing?
There's
Go
been
to 2025 and hip hop music. I'm gonna do a list for Up Rocks, but I'm gonna tell you the records I like. They're not hits. And if you look at my record last year,
Elliot
they're all
Wilson.
hit records.
What is a hit record?
You know what a hit record is.
No, I'm asking you.
It's a hit record.
What is that?
Not Like Us is a hit record. Fuck You Mean is a hit record.
What is a hit record?
Get It Sexy is a hit record. Yeah Glow's a record. Rapper's Delight is a hit record. A hit record. You know what a hit record is.
The guy that's attempting to check him on this take is none other than DJ Head, who a lot of people believe has a strong bias because he's basically in the crew. I didn't want to say family, but he's in the crew of not only TDE, but Kendrick Lamar. He was giving a lot of updates during the beef with Kendrick Lamar, so you would think that he would agree with a take like this because it's like, hey, Not Like Us, that was us. Yeah, of course, nobody's been able to match that. But even he's disagreeing. He's like, man, what's a hit record to you? He's like, man, a hit record is a hit record. And he talks about Luther being an example, but off rip, I'll just give one example that I think a lot of people are not even considering. And this is the thing. Number one, even if there hasn't been a hit song to the magnitude of Not Like Us, it's supposed to be that way. We got like a multiverse type of event, which is the biggest rapper in the game, Kendrick Lamar, or Drake and Kendrick Lamar both went head-to-head in a beef with each other that went nuclear and had some of the craziest accusations we've ever heard of on any track by mainstream rappers. And it was a banger song. So, yes, if you're saying the circumstances that led to that didn't happen since then, so therefore it's a lot less likely for us to have just a regular degular rap song do those types of numbers, then yes, Elliot Wilson, you are 100% correct. That's like saying the year after Ether and Takeover come out, people are like, yo, man, there hasn't been a hit song since Ether. You're looking at it like, dog, that was Nas versus Jay. What did you expect? Oh, we expect another hit song. So that's if you take it from that perspective. And this is the thing. Even if you take it from that perspective, it's still not true. Because, number one, we got to talk about how rap/hip-hop as a whole, if we're talking hits, Hot 100, we're getting washed by country. If you just look at the top 10, like 8 or 9 of them are country. And the only one that's holding it down, other than Cardi B's Outside, which is a debut, is Luther by Kendrick Lamar and SZA. And you could say Luther is just as big. You've also got Leon Thomas, that's more R&B, I guess. Nokia, are you going to consider that R&B or are you going to consider that rap? Because that song's been doing very well. Now, it's not as big as Not Like Us, but like I said, he said there hasn't been any hits since. There have been hits since. And the biggest hit, I would say, even bigger than Nokia that I mentioned earlier, is Anxiety by Doechii. Now, I know I've had my not necessarily criticisms about Anxiety. Yeah, I would say criticisms about Anxiety, but I've never lied and said that it wasn't a hit song. I'm just saying the reason for it being a hit song is the fact that it borrows on a previous hit song and also some other things that happened with Sleepy Hollow, who was on a previous version of it. That was the official version that released to streaming platforms before Doechii came on and just added her own stuff and removed him. So that's a hit. And that's by an artist that's really just debuted to mainstream success in the past 18 months or so. If we want to move on to other rappers that have hits this year, it's really just Lil Tecca. Like, there's Dark Thoughts and Owa Owa and Glorilla. And this is the thing. When he was mentioning hits, he was mentioning like Yeah Glow, which was last year. Yeah Glow wasn't anywhere near the level of a Not Like Us. So if he's willing to call that a hit, Rather Lie with The Weeknd and Playboi Carti is a hit. That song spent 15 weeks on the charts. It peaked at number 4. Now, it slowly like fell, but that doesn't change the fact that it was a hit. Maybe he's asking how long is the hit going to last, because Not Like Us is not on the charts anymore. And I do think it was a complete BS rule where, it falls out of the top 10 for 1 week after it's been on there for a year and it's gone now. I think that sucks in general. But if you look throughout the charts, Doug, there are no hip-hop songs. Big X The Plug is one of the only other rappers that's in the Hot 100 whatsoever, and that's because he's got a song with Bailey Zimmerman, who's a country artist, and that one's in the top, 25. So it is tough for hip-hop in general. Like, Shabuzi's up there. You guys got to just, Timeless, I guess you could also say Timeless is another hit. So The Weeknd and Cardi got 2 hits right now. This is why I think he's got to be tweaking out. I think he's just doing this for some controversy. But this is why, man, I mess with Elliot Wilson so heavy. Because he's an older guy, but he's not afraid. Like he said, he's trying to compete with the big dogs. He's trying to compete with all the younger bucks that's giving their own opinions. And he's also the first person that was hating on Kai Cenat for being on a hip-hop list whatsoever. And he's continuously being outed as having no idea about the majority of things going on in hip-hop. And I think they just put that title on him. He didn't ask for it, nor did he ever claim it. So we can't really blame Kai Cenat from that angle. But a lot of people hated on Elliot Wilson for being opposed to Kai Cenat being on that list whatsoever and Kai Cenat getting certain looks. Now, I do think these things are a little bit different, because if you just say he's opposed to Kai Cenat being on the list of like top hip-hop personalities, then you could give it a point. But he was also upset with the fact that Drake was willing to do anything with Kai Cenat before he would do something with an Elliot Wilson or a mainstream hip-hop platform. And that is where I think you're getting to hating territory, because him doing content, and this is Drake, or any rapper, with an XQC or Kai Cenat, they know that they're going to be in an environment where they're going to be able to let their guard down. They're not going to be getting pressed about some beef, which Drake was going through at that point, and be forced to give some words when he likely just wants to save the words for a song or save the words for when the time is right. And if he goes with even an Academics or an Elliot Wilson, he's going to be forced to address that. So Elliot Wilson's been moving like a villain. He's been dropping rage bait. He's in the conversation. I'm paying attention to what he's been saying. Now, I'm not listening to that podcast that they got on Hip Hop DX. I don't really listen to any long form hip hop podcast that I can think of. It's just I'll catch the clips, not just the short form clips, but the clips on whether it's 10, 15 minute clips or it's clips worthy of big conversation like this one. But I like the fact that he's getting in there, dropping crazy takes. This is how you get noticed. Or he's noticed. He already has the name, but this is how you create more conversation and get back and forths that are quite interesting. Like, for example, if he didn't make this point, I wouldn't have been looking at it like, hip-hop really does not have much of a hit this year. If you look at it, there's 2 or 3 artists when we would usually have at least 5 to 8 that are killing it. And the songs that Cardi has on the charts right now, it's because they're with a pop artist, The Weeknd. Cardi doesn't have any solo artists or solo tracks in the Hot 100, and that really just leaves Doechii. You've got Doechii and Cardi B. Cardi B's already a superstar. So if we're talking about solo rap acts with songs in the Hot 100 for the current year, for the current week, we've got Doechii, who that's an interpolation of somebody that I used to know, which is not a hip-hop song. We've got, it's scarce at that point. We've got Lil Tecca. He's got a solo song up there. And I think we've got Glorilla. Yeah, we've got Glorilla. Lil Tecca's got 2 songs. And that's it. That is it. And that's out of 100 spots. Yeah, it's looking scary. I mean, these other genres are just, they're putting belt to behind, man. It's mainly like Spanish speaking music. It's pop, and it's mostly country. These guys are charting whole damn albums on there. And it makes me a little bit fond of country because they chart the whole album on there for multiple weeks, which leads me to believe that people are just listening to the album top to bottom like how we used to do in hip-hop, instead of people just going into this playlisting type of mentality where they're just like, oh, I'm just going to pick out a couple of songs from here and listen to these. But that should also let you know how impressive Lil Tecca having 2 songs on there is, because he's the only rapper with 2 solo songs on there on the Hot 100. But let me know what y'all think in the comments. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you enjoyed. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I'm going to see y'all in the next one.